in it. Here we go now. Let's go. Let's go. It's Wednesday. Halfway through the week. We're going to have some fun. Talking about some a-holes. It's going to be a good time. A minute late, Natty. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Got to double check to make sure I got everything set up right, you know? Here lately, the tech gremlins have been attacking me. So I just have to, I'm on defense. I'm on defense right now. Shy, MJ, thanks for the love there. Elise, you as well. Natty, Elise, Bags, Pockets of Magic. What's up? We're just starting the stream here. Getting ready to read some Reddit stories. Natty Fusion, just giving me shit. Hey, I deserve to be given all the shit. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. Candy, CLKB, sharing the live. Maddie as well. Thanks so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Chris, reading outside. Oh, favorite springtime activity? That's cool. In a hammock? Do you read in a hammock? Natty, today I'm only on TikTok, but on Sunday nights I multi-stream on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Subeka, good to see you. Thanks for the share there. Greatly appreciate it. Gemma. Kelly Cat, good to see you. Diana, hey there. Roller skating springtime activity, huh? Wanderlust, we had a time change last week, so it is 3 p.m. for us now. It's just, yeah, time changes, you know. Candy Thunder with the share. Thanks, Tater. It's like your hand couldn't decide what to do. She meant to do I love you, but she gave me the horns. Kelly Cat, be not afraid. Candy Thunder with a share again. They're overkill. Danny, Maria, be not afraid. Christmas Museum Girl with a share there as well. Thank you so much, Diana, Galvin, Maddie, DG. It's good to see you. Oh, gardening, Jackie. Yeah, I dig it. The smell of fresh cut grass. Sarah S. officially with a share there as well. Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, SOS. You got the best birthday present yesterday? Do tell. Do tell. Oh, Canea. Barbecues. And late nights outside. Fire pits. We're getting back into it. Kathy Joe with the share there. Gemma with the share. Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, likes goal. I have it. I just don't have the link enabled. Boop. There it is. Thank you. I knew I was missing something. I knew this whole time. I'm like, I am missing something. Gemma, thanks for the heads up. Taking care of your chickens, Kelsey? Caden Thunder going outside. It is today is like such a beautiful, perfect day. Spirit car racing. I would like to know more about this. Kelly with the share. Be not afraid with the share there as well. Oh, sweet. That's why you got the book as your birthday present. Happy gosh heckin' birthday. That's amazing. I'm glad it timed out perfectly. I am recording, Subeka. Thank you. Goober, planting the garden. Heck yeah. Kirsty. Hey, it's good to see you. Diane, I got it. I'm recording. I remembered. Candy sitting in the backyard reading Piano Man after it arrives tomorrow. Heck yeah. It's only like a 3.5 hour read, so unless you just take your time with it, you know. Take your time with it. It's a 3.5 hour read, but as I'm going through cutting chapters for the Audible audiobook, which we're actively working on, I'm reading like one chapter per night, but that night only happens like once every other week, so it's going to take me like a year to read the whole thing. I got to speed up on it. I gotta speed up. Ooh, Aunt Sue. Zoo trips? Heck yeah. Vicky, good afternoon. Good to see you. Mrs. Hickton with the share. Thanks so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Hiking? Yeah. Fang, good to see you. Shy, good to see you. Amber Dawn. Gardening? Heck yeah. World of Outlaw Racing. Got it. Hiking? Karina? Yeah, heck yeah. This is today, at least here in Joplin, Missouri, is like the perfect day to get out there and go hike. I know every person here is like, we're ready to be outside. If we someday are cool enough to get like our own standalone studio out in the middle of nowhere with a lot of land around us, I would like to have like a retractable roof. Tony Spark, you'd enjoy this. Jesse would love it too. Retractable roof, like a dome stadium, but with the roof that you can just peel back. That would be amazing. Ben, hey, thanks for the share there. Greatly appreciate it. Mama Gov.
I would prefer to just like have a desk outside by the pool and actually forget the desk. I would like to just sit by the pool. Yeah.
So you'd like to not work is what you're saying?
I mean, but we'd be outside.
She's like, forget the desk. I just want the pool. I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. B. Hey, good to see you there. Stacy, good morning. Wolfie Shadow, I'm live. I'm not on YouTube. On Wednesdays, I am only on TikTok. Opening the windows every morning, Ebaloo. Heck yeah. Mr. E, watching the YouTube with Mod. Oh, you're watching with Danny? Heck yeah. Watching with Danny. Cool. Nice. Heck yeah, the beach, Akasha. Denise Burkhardt. Gardening. I'd say like Candy Thunder grows some amazingly beautiful rose bushes. The roses are beautiful in our yard. When it comes to our yard, I can only grow onions. I apparently haven't figured out how to grow grass yet. I can only grow onions and dandelions. That's all I can do in the yard. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna figure it out by the time I'm 50, maybe. Maybe. Onions, yes. I swear, it looks like Super Mario Brothers out there. It's just onions. Ooh, tremier. Is it tremier? That sounds like fun too. Picking fiddleheads. Danny can't wait for warmer weather. Want to do rock hunting, beach glass hunting. Your dad is a professional dandelion grower. Yeah. Denise, yeah, we've got to till. We got to till it up and just start from scratch. We're getting ready to. We're getting ready to dive into a little tilling, fertilizing, that whole adventure. I am gonna get it figured out one of these days. All right, let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? Hey, we do have a goal of 3K bolts to get Candy Thunder up here. She is in studio today. Heck yeah. It is spring break here, so it's been a little bit of a weird schedule for us, but it's Wednesday. We're here. It's live day. Let's rock and frickin' roll. We are talking about favorite springtime activities when we're in the in-betweens with the music and the confetti and everything going on. So we'll keep that kind of theme going on here because it is a gorgeous day. It's 70 degrees, light wind. The sun is out. It's beautimous. The wind has been howling here the past few days, so this day is perfection. Is perfect. I say that. That's one of the quotes I like to throw around at home, and it is from Penelope Cruz in Vanilla Sky. Is perfect. Holler if you know what I'm talking about. Hey, coming up, we have stories about sassy parrots. That's a new one. Sister drama. That's not a new one. Conflicting party dates, blended family drama, clingy coworkers, introverts versus manners, spouses setting allowances, and another update to the fertility lies story. Oh yeah. Cake stories and a best of Redditor update story. Let's go. Hey, the latest episode of Thunder and Spark is out now. I hope you've had a chance to watch or listen to it by now. It is BTS focused, so it's behind the scenes, talking about the 24-hour stream, the Dusty Thunder channel, and we talk about something new that we do need your feedback on. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it or listen to it yet and leave some feedback, please do that. We need your opinion on some stuff. We've got some other new stuff coming up that we need to get your opinion on too, but we'll talk about that another day. Speaking of podcasts, I recorded another podcast yesterday with the one and only Beyond Beautiful. We did it. We got that podcast knocked out. We are reviewing it now and making edits as needed, but I think we're going to have it ready to push out this coming Sunday. It's going to be one of the fastest podcast turnarounds ever. She was a pleasure to have on that podcast. It's going to be a hell of a good time. We got through 4 or 5 different stories on there too. So that's going to be a really good time. Look out for news on the drop date for that. That'll be going out on YouTube and also out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, all of the audio podcast channels. A reminder today to keep chat positive and respectful. Everybody is, of course, allowed to have their own opinion, and we don't all have to agree, but it costs nothing to be respectful and a DFHB and to actively not shit on other people. Let's try that. And no spoilers, please, lest you be muted. We don't want to do that. Get out your brooms. Absolute silence here in the studio. Absolute silence.
It's about to get dusty.
It's too late.
It's never too late to sweep.
It's too late.
It's about to get dusty.
Ooh, I like the way you said that. Ooh.
That's my sinus.
Okay, the very first story we have for today is from the AITA subreddit and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Training My Parrot to Greet Guests with a Mysterious Message? Trained their parrot to greet guests with a mysterious message. So I have this African gray parrot named Coco. He's an absolute ace at picking up phrases and, well, whispering them. He's a charming little fellow with a penchant for creating a stir with his vocal skills. A couple of months back, I decided it would be hilarious to teach Coco a new phrase to greet guests. I spent weeks training him to say, "I know your secrets," in the most melodramatic tone possible. To me, it was just a harmless prank. I mean, who wouldn't have a chuckle at a bird insinuating it's about to spill the beans on some deep, dark confession? At first, when friends came over, they were startled, then laughed it off when they realized it was just Coco being his cheeky self. I enjoyed the gag. Coco seemed to love the attention, and it all seemed in good fun. But that was until last Saturday's dinner party. Among the guests was a newer acquaintance. Coco, with impeccable timing, dropped his signature phrase just as the guest walked through the door. Her reaction was not what I expected. Instead of laughter, there was a distinct flash of horror across her face. It turned out she had been grappling with guilt over a professional mishap she hadn't disclosed to anybody. The room turned awkwardly silent. Some guests chuckled nervously, waiting for her to laugh along, but instead, she abruptly excused herself and barely spoke for the rest of the evening. I tried to break the ice by explaining the story behind Coco's unique greeting, but the damage was done. After the party, a mutual friend told me that she had felt targeted, as though I had somehow trained Coco to expose her secret plight in front of everyone. Other friends think it's a no harm, no foul situation and that her reaction was uncalled for because there was no way I could have known about her issues. I feel horrible that what I intended as a playful joke deeply unsettled someone. I've considered retraining Coco or at least keeping him in a separate room for future gatherings, but part of me wonders if this was really a major misstep or if it's a harmless party trick gone unexpectedly awry. So, am I the astronaut for teaching my parrot to say, "I know your secrets" whenever guests come over? This sounds like a her problem to me. Everybody else was okay with it. Everybody else was okay with it. It's this individual person's guilt that is the problem here. That's not your parrot's fault. That's not your fault. So let me get this straight. If this person walks past anyone on the street and that person just randomly said, "I know your secrets," just targeted. Like, you trained your parrot because you knew this person just looked guilty, or that they would look guilty when they walked in the door. And you're like, you know what? Coco, listen to me. If you can sense that someone's hiding a deep, dark sin, I want you to say this. But only if you can really tell that they're hiding something. Your bird cannot see into her soul. Hey, Stanan, good point. She brought more attention to it than the bird did. It was her reaction that caused this whole thing to go sideways. It wasn't what your bird said. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Also, it really further supports the whole fortune cookie approach that I want to take, where I want to make fortune cookies that say shit like "she knows" inside on the fortune. Some stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think obviously this person wouldn't take that very well, but I think it just further supports the need for this in the universe. Joyful Stranger, I don't know. Have you met a bird? They might be able to see into the soul. It could. Dogs, sure. Dogs will stare into your soul. Cats will too. Cats will stare into your soul. You know, misfortune cookies. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what they need to be. I think we should train Navy Thunder to say shit like this when people walk in. Imagine having a toddler say that. She already does this. She doesn't say, "I know your secrets" when people walk in. Somebody walk into the house and she'd be like, "That's not a good choice." She says stuff like that. The greeting was, "I know your secrets," but like whispered. Cats will take your soul and smile 100%. Yeah. This is an NTA. You could not have known. Oh, look, nothing's working. Cool. Oh, started to. Let's try this again. There we go. This is an NTA. There's no way that you could have known. It's a her problem. Her reaction is what caused the stir and brought so much attention to it. It's not your fault that she feels guilty about something that she did. That's what it comes down to. What? What did I do?
Not everything's about.
What, the way that I was just being stared at by my wife made me think.
You stopped talking and then looked this direction.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening over there. I don't know what's happening. The Lannisters send their regards, Francis. That's exactly what they need to teach Coco to say. That's exactly what they needed. Michelle, what was the package? Was it these? Are you the Michelle that sent the Annoyatrons? Hell yes, I did. Thank you so much for sending those. I have not deployed them yet, but I have ideas. I have ideas about where I want to go with it. Hey, we're at 1951 of 3K right now on the Bolt goal to get Candy Thunder up here. And holy crap, Gray Dragon, we've got a galaxy coming through there. Heck yes. Honey Bear, NB the G, just purchased the auto renewal subscription to stick with the Gosh Heckin' Fam. Heck yeah, real life works as well in the Gosh Heckin' Fam. Amanda, Donna DJ, Trini Marie, Amanda Mills, Hector Morales, Stitch, and Trini Marie, Candy Thunder, Kelly McMillan, Amanda again there, Nope, Try Harder, now a member of the Gosh Heckin' Fam, glad to have you here, user 73, lots of other numbers there with the gifts coming through, Roberta, Atlas and a Bath as well, Cherry Blossom, Mandala Will, Cup of Tea Daily, Natty Fusion, Just Mags, Minions Den, Jess Danae, Michelle Heather, Marble City, Mom Meow, Tanya D, Pink, Overkill, sent a gifted sub to Candy COKB. Welcome to the Gosh Heckin' Fam. We got Steph, Elise, Emma, Stitch, Annette Madron, Steph Lingenfelter, Grey Dragon, of course, with the fireworks coming through there too. Heck yeah. Adventures with Pam K. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate it. Ellen is here. Heck yeah. Welcome, Ellen. Welcome. We're at 2340 now of the 3K. We're moving along. We're getting Candy Thunder up here. Maybe we'll hit this during this story reading. Maybe we can get her to give some feedback with us. Dramatic Liability with the follow. Thanks so much for that. Mr. E with the follow there as well. Greatly appreciate that. Is that Destin Canoe or Destiny Canoe? Mama Gov with the share there as well. Emma, thanks so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Heather, thank you. Thank you. Danielle with the follow there too. Thanks. Welcome. Francis, this story is making me want to get a parrot just to teach them out-of-pocket phrases. Agreed. And I'm not going to lie. At one point in life, I was very interested in obtaining an African Grey just so I could teach them all kinds of inappropriate things. What better Stormcloud marketing, like studio mascot, could there be than to have an African Grey parrot at the front door that told people off as they walked in? If they could recognize what kind of person was visiting us and then say things based on that, like the mailman, unique message just for the mailman, right? And then if it was a salesperson that came through, different message. Yeah. And then when Candy Thunder walks through the door, it would just whistle. Okay, time for the next story here. This is a follower submission. Followers who submitted stories that are being used today were alerted ahead of the stream. If you got an email from me, you know what to do if you want to claim your story here. Also, we're at 2430 of 3K on the Bolt goal to get Candy Thunder up here. Let's rockin' for Rick and roll. This is, am I the astronaut for wanting to go low contact with my sisters for a few weeks? So I, 23 female, have been dating my boyfriend, John, 27 male, for about 2 years. We met through work and were good friends for about 3 years before we started dating. The only issue is we live 7 hours apart. We take turns making the drive and are usually able to spend 2 to 3 weekends a month together, as well as most holidays. That would suck. Living 7 hours away from your betrothed, your intended other. That would make life very, very complicated. We have reached the point where we are about to get engaged, and I'm planning to move up with him since I can relocate much easier, and all of his family lives in the same area unlike mine. His family and friends have been nothing but sweet and welcoming to me since I've known them, minus his mother. She and I had our issues, and there were times when she was sweet and others when she was just judgmental, but he always had my back, and she recently came and apologized for her behavior, and things have been much better between us. Time out. What? You've got a future mother-in-law here who was like, I'm so sorry I've been bitchy to you. I will be better. That's a good sign, surprisingly. Cautiously optimistic, we'll put it that way. My family, on the other hand, are not supportive of my moving up there and haven't always been the nicest to him. Well, that sucks. Background, I have 3 sisters, 27, 26, and 21. We grew up in a very difficult and traumatic situation to the point where we didn't have contact with a 27-year-old from the time I was 12 to 18. Because of a rough home life, we all grew up very quickly to the point that I was self-sufficient by 16. We all got back in contact right before I joined the military, where I met John. I recently graduated college and I'm now in a remote graduate program as well as working, so it was a no-brainer for me to be the one to move. Sorry, words are hard. As you can imagine, everyone is scared that a separation between sisters will happen again, so we've become almost too close. We have weekly FaceTime calls, group texts, and are almost completely dependent on each other. I love all of them dearly, but none of them have made an effort to get to know John no matter what he does. My little sister seems to like him when it's just us, but as soon as the older ones come around, she changes her tune. They recently all got upset with me on the phone because I called them out for their behavior and the way they gang up on anyone they dislike and don't agree with, including me. This has been a problem since we were children that they also acknowledged. This is not the first time they have done things like this, and I have a difficult time communicating with them all in a group setting. I love talking with them individually and tried to tell them that I would take some time away from the group activities and chats, and they freaked out. I tried to tell them that I still wanted to talk to them all individually, just not in a group setting. They are blaming John for my decision. Sorry, words are hard. Words are very hard today. They are blaming John for my decision when he is in fact trying to help me resolve these issues with them because he knows how much I love them. They are calling me a jerk and saying I overreacted, but I have had many conversations with them on how the way they treat John makes me feel. He has never complained and always has been helpful, kind, and polite to them, but they don't always treat him the same way. I have always said I don't need them to like my decision, but they have to respect it, and that I hope they would support me, but I haven't gotten any of those things. So am I the astronaut for wanting to go low contact with my sisters for a few weeks until I feel more mentally healthy? No. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Hold on. No, you are not the asshole for wanting this. We'll talk about it more here in just a second. For now, we got to talk about our bolt goal that got achieved here. We got to get Candy Thunder up here, too. You ready to jump up here, Tater? That was a very enthusiastic thumbs up. You're going to have to try to just contain all the excitement when you get up here. We have leading the board here, Overkill Mill, Amanda Mills, Adventures with Pam, Elise Newman, Stitchy 046, Branla 85, Sklingenfelter, MJ Newcomb, Carabites, T-Hef 90, Prep Girl, Roberta Snyder, Candy Thunder, Positivity Bizonly. That's a tough name to say. Natty Fusion, Tanya D, aka T. Tony Spark with the save here. Hoo 808, Mandela Will, Tony Spark, Dylan Sprague, Annette Madron, Coral, Donna 12661, Sharon Day Newton, Amber Hill Hickey, Mags Amazing, Bad Monkey, Cup of Tea Daily, Snowman Collector, Kelly McMillan, Rainfalls, Trini Marie, Catnip and Justina, Christine Glazer, Wolfie Shadowfox, Denise Burkhardt, Nat Ford, Mrs. Alice, Jenny DeBlock, Mama Kitty. We've got D, Carol T, B, Joe 2015, Bailey Chapman, Jenny Walker, Anna Hansen, Minions Den, and Miami Nexus. Thank you guys so much for helping us get there. We're going to set up the next gift goal. We'll get Candy Thunder up here. I can hear giggling. I just don't know what's happening. Wait a second. Tony, the fire is gone. How are they going to take a staple gift like fire away?
Use the finger.
Yep. It's bonkers. I don't understand it. This one is going to unlock Tony Spark and the fertility story update, which I'm not going to lie, I glanced at the screen and I saw Tony and fertility, and I was like, wait, what are we unlocking here? Hold on. Also, new members to welcome to the Flam. Oregon Dran, Jennifer Jago, Jen, Ginger Holly, and Teddy Trek. Welcome to the God Checking Fam, courtesy of Premier. Heck yes. All right, let's get her up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Candy Thunder. Dude, that's my Coco, the African gray.
Parrot?
Yeah, that's the parrots.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Middle of the mat. You know how this works.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this story.
Tony gonna be a daddy.
Don't get married, don't reproduce.
Tony said he's not getting married and he's not reproducing.
Golden rule.
That's not the golden rule.
Don't get married, don't reproduce.
No, I agree with you. I don't think she's the asshole.
So the question was, just go ahead and click here and we'll get back up. I think it was.
It's right. It's so. Am I the asshole for wanting to go low contact with my sisters for a few weeks until I feel more mentally healthy?
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about this, and I'm curious as to your feedback with this, but she still wants to talk to them individually, but doesn't want to talk to them in a group because they have mob mentality.
Yeah.
And that probably has a lot to do with their upbringing, right? They had to be like a group to survive, and had to be stronger and meaner together than they were individually on their own.
I wonder if they. Okay, so they're just blaming him because they feel like he took her away because he lives 7 hours away. Is that?
That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
they just won't give him a chance. Period.
That's just. I mean, that's unhealthy, and to be like there's someone that she chose to be with to not even give them a chance to like get to know them and be a part of her life. So if someone chooses to treat the people that you love like shit, then you're going to have to start going low contact. I mean, you don't have a choice at this point. Who's this?
Gradually, you're on the edge of the frame.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what it is. Like gravity pulls you out of frame every time. It's interesting.
It's because it's a space invasion when I'm up here.
Is this too close?
Yes.
Is this too close?
Yes, it feels overwhelming.
Well, now we know. We'll start there, and then if we back it up, then it's not as bad, right?
This feels better for me.
Okay.
I'll just lean forward to the mic.
You just have to
Yes.
project. You just have to project.
Yes.
They blame him. They blame him for taking her away. It's also. Are any of them married?
How old was she? Like, where does she fit into the age groups?
So she has 27, 26, and 21. What is she, 23? Scroll back up.
Yeah.
23. Okay. So
she's one of the younger ones. So I would bet that the older ones, because of the way that they grew up, feel like parents, but it's almost like they're overprotective to a point of causing issues in in her life. So I think that's where why they're suffocating her basically.
Right. Well, and the younger one is fine on her own, but as soon as the older ones show up, she just adopts their mentality as
they're
well
like
here.
they're the older two, I would imagine, are like the parents in the situation. So the younger one's going to automatically follow suit with what the olders believe.
And I understand being critical of partners of your loved ones in a protective way.
Yeah.
But also, like, what's the goal?
There you go. Ash Wag said, sounds like a trauma bond that without therapy has gotten toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
they've been protective of each other through being hypercritical and negative about things. But I think part of being protective of someone also has to be what's the goal of that? You want them to be happy, right?
Right.
I mean, you would hope that they're in negative protection mode instead of like stepping toward a positive kind of scenario mode.
And it doesn't sound like they've ever given her a reason as to why they don't like John. They just don't want to get to know him. They don't want him to break up this circle that they have, which like Ash said, that's toxic. To not be able to have anyone else in this circle ever in your life, that's toxic.
It might not even be John. It might just be all dudes.
Right.
It might be all men that they are just automatically opposed to. We don't know anything else about if any of the other sisters are married or in relationships or have kids or anything like that. But I would not be surprised if part of their trauma was male directed. And because of that, they are just any male who tries to enter their lives, they're immediately protective of and do not like.
Yeah.
But I think as a sibling, protector, whatever you want to say, you have to be thinking about the ultimate happiness of your sibling and want something that's good for them.
Bunny says family has the power of knowing what buttons to push with minimal effort. That's right. They know you the best. They know, like growing up, they know what's going to bother you the most. Yeah, you're NTA, and I think if you want your relationship with John to succeed, you got to figure it out so that it doesn't do permanent damage on your relationship.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to lose your sisters, but at the same time, you can't give them that kind of control.
Going low contact with him is probably a good baby step, but you're going to get to the point where you have to create a firm boundary and say, look, if you want to be a part of my life, you've got to be accepting of the other parts of my life. And if you don't accept those things, you don't get to be a part of my life. It's pretty simple.
Right.
I don't know. So it's NTA for her wanting to take that time. It's not enough. There will have to be there's going to have to be more drastic action taken at some point. It's just a matter of time. But you're getting a good preview of how they're going to react right now, and it ain't good. So because of that, I think if you baby step your way through this, it's going to be pain over a longer period of time. This feels like a rip off the Band-Aid kind of thing. Take that large amount of pain over a short amount of time, and then you'll have more time to be truly happy and time for them to adjust rather than gradually making them pissed over a long period of time. It's your choice, though. You approach it whichever way feels right to you, but it's going to be the same amount of pain no matter what. Candy Thunder, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, guys.
Love you, Tater.
You were preaching.
I'm preaching. It's the same amount of pain.
I was going to tell them Baby Thunder not making good choices story.
Oh, well, come back over.
It's fine. I'll tell it later.
Come back over. She's got a story to tell you. She forgot to tell you, so she's going to come back up and tell you.
It was about you can chime in.
I will. Of course, I'll chime in.
Okay. So Navy Thunder has this thing where she tells us that we're not making good choices. And that's like if we get onto her for something or she gets in trouble and she's like, Mama, you're not making good choices. So, and we're potty training her right now. And when she woke up, she had pooped in her pull-up and I asked her if she did. And she said she looked down and she goes, yeah, I didn't make a good choice. And she said that I told her that and they're Ariel pull-ups. And I was like, you did that on Ariel's face. So now like anyone that sees her for the next week, she tells them that she pooped on Ariel's face because she didn't make good choices. And I'm like, you got to stop saying this to people. But she tells us all the time. I don't know where this came from, but that we aren't like if we get onto the teens for doing something, not that that's all we get. We don't just get onto our kids, but she'll be like, that's not good choices, Mama. Don't say that to Dee Dee. And I'm like,
she's a protector.
Yeah, she's a hardcore protector.
She does not for her siblings.
She does not take crap from anyone, and including these two right here, most of all. But yeah, she did not make good choices because she pooped on Ariel's face. That was the theme of the day yesterday, and I could not stop laughing after I got her up. It was amazing. It's
just an added bonus that everything she says in the like tiniest munchkin voice that is just adorable. You'll ask her a question and she's like, yeah. Imagining her as a teenager scares us so much because she's so strong-willed and like Ava was strong-willed very much so, but nothing like this. Nothing, I don't know. I'll just make them strong-willed, I guess. I don't know. I'll make them assholes. I don't know. By then, I'm gonna look like a totally white-bearded, just broken old man.
When Navy's a teenager, I think she's gonna be a protector, but I also think that she's not going to put up with anybody's crap, and it's probably her mouth is gonna get her in trouble.
Yep.
So we're working on when to use it and when to rein it in.
Yeah.
And
we've been working on apologies. Which once she became self-aware enough to like know what an apology means, she's much less likely to actually apologize, which is really funny because we'll be like, you need to say sorry now. And she's like,
she told me, I was told to come tell you I'm sorry. That's what she told me. I was like, that's not an apology. Maybe that is
she's
not
gonna be
an
like,
apology.
I'm sorry you were offended by my actions. I'm sorry you misunderstood.
The narcissist apology. Oh, okay. Bye, guys.
Candy Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. Lightning bolts in chat for Candy Thunder.
Fertility update story.
Fertility update story. Oh, yeah. We are at 825 of 25 hundo on the finger hearts for the fertility update story and to get Tony Spark up here, which is going to be a hell of a good time. Yeah, Caden Thunder. I'm sorry you feel that way. That's where she's at right now. She's gangster. It's and they can just be mean too. Like she's experimenting with social scenarios right now. And I know that, but that also means that we have to enforce those boundaries so she knows what's okay and what's not okay. And it's a constant test. It is constantly testing those boundaries. And she could just be the sweetest kid in the world and then turn around and just go for the jugular with her words. It's wild. But we'll see how that ends up. This story was definitely an NTA. It is a tough situation. And again, I really do think drastic action is going to be needed at some point. It's simply a matter of, do you play the slow game here and do it a little bit at a time, or do you do it all at once? And in your position, I would do it all at once, because time, I think, is going to be the ultimate solution here. Time for them to get used to the new reality of knowing that they have to accept John if they want to be a part of your life. And that's the end of it. The longer you take to get there, the more pain you're going to endure along the way. She'd be a good lawyer. Yeah. Jennifer, she's just a normal future supermodel. She is a little model baby. She is. She's going to be 3 soon, Cam. She'll be 3. Darla, thanks for the share. Greatly appreciate that. Karen, thanks for the share there as well. Again, we are at 950 at 25 hundo on the goals right now. Tony Spark, Minions Den, Katie, Bunny, SOS Flint, Gigi, Melissa B, Donna, DJ, Katie, Koyo Rican, Jennifer Jago, Pumunky, P.U. Monkey, Pumunky, Nana 61, RJ McHale, thanks for the love there. In Lovell, Pumunky again there, Auntie Danny, TLS, Beth Bars, Bunny subscribed. Welcome to the Gosh Heckett fam. Create Inc. with Pink, Jennifer Jago, Ethan. Not saying the rest of that one. Good try, though. GG, Sarah S. officially. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate the love. Joanne, Karen, Natty Fusion, Anise Moon, Anna Hansen, Tony Spark. Did you see the Eaton name that they tried to get me with today, Tony? Eaton, E-A-T-O-N. Did you see it? It's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. Sounds like it's spelled. Pumunky. Got it. All right, diving into the next story here. 950 at 25 hundo on the finger hearts. We'll get there. You guys definitely want to hear the update to the fertility lies story. I haven't read it yet, but it's supposed to make it even worse. Okay, next story that we have here is another follower submission. Opie, if you're in chat and you want to claim your story, you know what to do. This one is titled, "Am I the astronaut for refusing to change the date of my daughter's birthday party to accommodate my sister-in-law's baby shower? When I, 39 female, met my husband, 40 male, 18 years ago, his baby sister was glued to his hip. There's an 8-year age gap between them. His dad worked 2 jobs and his mom worked overnight, so he was basically raising his 2 sisters. She was always with us, and even after our wedding, she would spend every weekend with us. About a year after our wedding, we had our first child, a daughter. Even having a baby, his baby sister was still with us every weekend and any chance she got. We eventually had a second baby, a son. And again, she was still with us whenever she could be. Around the time of my son's 3rd birthday, the baby sister met her now husband and things changed. I expected her to stop hanging around as often because she was almost 20 and finally had someone else in her life. However, things took a drastic turn and she basically went no contact with us. We could never figure out what happened, and for the last 11 years, that's how it's been. It's not just us this happened with. She pretty much fell off the face of the earth with her whole family. She wouldn't show up for holidays or birthday parties. Christmas gifts went unacknowledged, and invitations for birthday parties and holiday gatherings went unacknowledged. Nothing. Our daughter is turning 16 this year and wants a sweet 16 party. Ever since our kids were little, we planned birthday parties according to where their birthdays fall within the week. Story just moved as I was reading it. Hold on, I got to find my spot again. All right, I'll start that paragraph over. Our daughter is turning 16 this year and wants a sweet 16 party. Ever since our kids were little, we planned birthday parties according to where their birthdays fell within the week. If their party was on Monday or Tuesday, we would have it the Saturday before. If it was Thursday or Friday, we would have it the Saturday after. Wednesday birthdays were whenever it worked whenever it worked the best situation. Out of the blue, 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call from his baby sister telling me she's pregnant, almost halfway through her pregnancy already. This is her first baby, and I was really excited for her despite everything that has gone on over the past 11 years. I told her I was so excited for her and I couldn't wait to meet her new baby. The next day, my mother-in-law calls me to ask if I know any good bakers who can bake a cake for her baby shower. I asked when the shower was, and she told me she was having the shower the Saturday before my daughter's birthday. I reminded her that was her granddaughter's 16th birthday, and that was when we were planning her party. She said she would talk to her baby sister and see if she had that date set in stone or if she could change it. Later that day, I got a text from the baby sister saying that was the only day she could have her shower and she wasn't changing it. When she asked why she couldn't change it to the weekend before or weekend after, she said that was the only date her best friend could do it. Baby sister isn't even due to have her baby until 2 months after my daughter's birthday. This turned into a huge fight between my husband's family and I because I felt like they completely forgot my daughter who was already on this earth and was only thinking about the new baby coming. Hubby's stepdad said he would be coming to my daughter's birthday party because you only get to have a sweet 16 once. My mother-in-law felt like I put her in a tough situation because I refused to change the date of the party. My husband is on my side with this. So am I the astronaut for refusing to change the date of my daughter's sweet 16 to accommodate my sister-in-law's baby shower? Well, so the question is, am I the astronaut for refusing to change the date of my daughter's birthday party to accommodate my sister-in-law's baby shower? Typically, I would say here, whoever sent that date out first gets that date, right? It's first come, first serve. If you schedule an event, it is the first person to put that date out there and get it on people's calendars is the one who has that date reserved. Now, is OP in chat, by the way? Anybody seen OP? Okay. Birthdays don't move. You can do a shower anytime. Absolute Comics. I definitely see that. There are a few things to consider here. I think the first thing I'm looking at is who put the date out there first. OP kind of frames this like they didn't officially send the date out because they've always done it a certain way and expected the family to know what date that party would be happening on, even if they didn't broadcast that date out. That's a complication, right? Because you're assuming people remember your system instead of giving them the date. That's a complication that could have contributed to this. I'm not saying you did the wrong thing here, but if you had broadcast that date out or sent an invitation or sent a calendar invite out or something, it could have prevented that from happening. Now, little sister being completely dependent and attached to your husband for as long as she was, and then dropping off the face of the earth and then randomly popping back up and being like, oh yeah, my shower is the same day as this. That feels intentional, doesn't it? This feels intentional. This feels like I am fighting actively for the family to have to choose. I'm fighting for attention, but I'm fighting for them to have to choose. I'm not just popping back in with my new pending baby and expecting to be welcomed with open arms and jumping back in as a part of this family. I'm jumping back in and causing a lot of shit on purpose. This feels intentional by her. It's the only day her best friend could do it. Well, the best friend's schedule doesn't really come into play when it comes to the baby shower, or does it? I don't know. Birthday party Saturday, baby shower Sunday. Everybody will be in the area anyways. Sister-in-law could have had fertility issues, maybe, but what does that have to do with the date that the party is on? So now you've got two parties here who are like not budging and not budging. Eventually, somebody's going to have to give. In this scenario, as long as the family is well aware of what day your daughter's sweet 16 was going to be, and they're well aware of your system and when that party would be happening, even if they didn't receive an official date. This is the 16th time that they've been to this event. Like they know that's going to be happening. Sister shows up and just runs amok and tries to cause a lot of shit. Elise, the only person being harmed right now is the 16-year-old. Good point. OP, might be worth a conversation with your daughter and be like, here's what's going on. It's causing Yes, your auntie is causing all kinds of shit now. But let me ask you, would you be open to doing your party the next day? Because right now the family's going to have to choose. And if nobody shows up to her Sweet 16, she's probably going to be hurt by that. Which would hurt worse? Having fewer people show up to her party or having to move it a day? I'm not saying that's what you should do, because your sister-in-law is definitely causing shit here. And it feels intentional, but that doesn't change the fact that your 16-year-old daughter is going to be harmed in this process here. Could be a big party at a venue, etc. Yeah. I guess that if this Sweet 16 has like a venue booked and has a lot of things reserved, which event changing causes more pain? Yes, this came out of nowhere. It definitely sounds intentional, right? It seems like she's just causing shit to cause shit. I'd still have the conversation with your 16-year-old if you don't have like a bunch of things booked for that specific date already, like a venue or attractions or a band or whatever. I would have the conversation and be like, hey, here's what's going on. You're the one who is going to be hurt by this if people don't show up. So do you want to move it? Now, the question, am I the astronaut for refusing to change the date of my daughter's birthday party to accommodate my sister-in-law's baby shower? Specifically, no, you're not an asshole for that. Let's go ahead and make that clear here. You're not an asshole for refusing to change it, but I don't think you're going to win. This is the problem. You're not the asshole here, but I don't think you're going to win. I think sister-in-law's going to stick to her guns too. It's going to end up being a split family here where some people go one direction and some people go the other, and that ultimately is going to hurt your 16-year-old daughter. So unfortunately, I think you may end up having to compromise here, because I don't think the crazy sister's going to. Yeah, same day, different time. It could be all kinds of stuff like that. Hey, we're ranked number 54 right now. What tier is that in? C2, we're ranked. Let's keep going. Come on, let's climb them ranks. We're at 54 right now. We're climbing up, and we're at 1376 at 25 hundo on the finger hearts right now. Hey, Kate, BB, Gumiho, TLS, Denise Burkhardt, Yvette, the effulgent one, Tanya K's, TLS, Tanya D, Ann Brecker, Adventures with Pancake, Steph, Elise, Mariah, Amanda, Candy Thunder, Miri, Jerry Lynn, Tony Spark, Jamar Guy, Mindy Mouse. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate the love. Gigi, I see you there as well. Ravetta, see you there as well. Gumi Home from the Philippines. Hello. Good to see you there. Hannah, thanks for the share. Purple Butterfly Princess with the share there as well. Thanks so much. Ola Edit with the follow. Donut with the share. Thank you so much. Julie Love with the share there as well. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for supporting us with the gift goals, with shares, with commenting, with everything. Greatly appreciate it. Likes goal, we are at 28% of right now. 171K out of 600. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. Oh yeah, okay. A reminder, the gift goal that we're going for right now with the 25 hundo finger hearts, which we're at 1626 of at the moment, doesn't just get Tony Spark up here, which is in and of itself absolutely worthy. It gets us the update for the Fertility Lies story. The update, the second update, which I haven't read. I read stories for the first time whenever we're reading them together, but I hear it's a pretty shitty one, right? Shitty as in spicy. How could it get worse? How could it possibly get worse?
That's what we said.
A day in the life in Ireland. Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. Fertility lie story. Yeah, the fertility lie story that's yeah, it was on YouTube, but also we did the original and then did the update for it, recorded it, or it published yesterday on TikTok, right? Yep, the original and the update. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into our next story here. Hopefully we can hit that goal while reading the stories, and I'll try to not beat the shit out of my microphone, and we'll be in good shape here. Before I do that, Hazel Love, Branla, Colts fan Lexi, Amber L. Hickey, Nana61, Yankee Bell, Mariah, Janae Zuniga, Rosa, John Grant, E with the springy looking flower emojis next to your name there. ADHD mom and teacher, John Hare, tragically sharp, Beth Bars, E again there. TLS Natty Fusion, Melissa B, Ange, Elise 1699, Hazel Love, Mama Kitty, Mel M. Fred, Melissa B, Bunny LK with a hundo of those finger hearts. Heck yes. Thank you guys so much. We're moving. We're getting there. 1975 just broke 2K. We got it. Jim versus Jim with the share there. Karen with the share. Thank you guys so much. LaWindy and Daniel with the shares there as well. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Let's dive in. We have another follower submitted story. Opie, if you're in chat and you want to claim it, you know what to do. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Wanting to Cut or Go Low Contact with My Dad because he's choosing his new girlfriend and her daughter over his son and daughters? Story, so here goes. My dad was married first to our mom. 3 children resulted in this marriage. My older brother, C, 27, me, male 23, or me, M, 23. Then my younger sister, K, 22. They divorced when we were all little. Excuse me. Then he married our stepmom, L, back in 2009. Since that time, Dad and L have and will always be my mom and dad. They always showed up for us kids. We never had to try for their attention, and we felt loved. But fast forward, Dad and L recently got divorced December of 2022 because Dad was cheating on L with a coworker who at the time was also in a relationship and getting married herself. Assuming that didn't go through. Did the cheating stop her from marrying her partner? No. Oh, damn. I was wrong. She went through with it, and they only got divorced because L told the new husband and provided evidence. Since then, Dad has continued the relationship with the coworker, HW. Wait a second. So she went ahead and married this guy anyway, even though she was cheating with Dad in this story. And then the guy she married found out, they got divorced, and now Dad and this coworker are still together. That's interesting. Okay. I feel like she has been causing a huge gap in my and my dad's relationship. I moved states away when I graduated high school, but I still had a great connection with my dad. We'd have our weekly calls and he tried to come out to see me or vice versa. But now I never hear from him unless I'm the one to initiate the conversation. I haven't physically seen him in a year because I refuse to visit the state where the family is divided and hostile, but my door is always open to them. Dad has been making time for HW and taking her on multiple trips and extravagant activities, and now is taking her daughter S6. My dad has now bailed on me multiple times since he's been involved. My dad has now bailed on me multiple times since she's been involved in all of this, including me getting married where I kept it very, very small, but gave him enough time to plan accordingly. He has also been bailing on my sister who lives an hour from him to please HW. Me and Kay are at the point where we feel abandoned and unloved and are both tired of begging for his attention or attendance for our lives. I hold resentment to HW and I don't ever see that changing, and we are both considering going very low to no contact with him over all of this and more letdowns he's done. So I ask, am I the astronaut? And it was, am I the astronaut for wanting to cut or go low contact with my dad because he's choosing his new girlfriend and her daughter over his son and daughters? No, I mean, it's understandable. I think the one reality check I would have for you in here is there's an assumption, right? There's an assumption with HW. Hold up, we hit it. Here we go. Let's get through this, and then we'll get some more feedback on that story. Leading the board here, Elise Newman. And then in the number 2 spot, Eaton. Not going to say the last name. TLS Journey, Sklingenfelter, Adventures with Pam, Candy Thunder, 1L, K97, Overkill Mill, Happy Bubble, Jewel Brown, Bunny C. Ann, Tony Spark, Mindy Mouse, Sue Ann, 257, Tanya Kays, Anise Moon, Mandala Will, Tanya D, aka T. Can I get a rescue on numbers 15 and beyond, please? Also, Natty Fusion, Stin Ann, Jamie Sue, Corner Day, Silver Storm, TLS, Elise Newman. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Where did I end there? Tanya D, aka T, Amber L. Hickey, Crystal Williams, Roberta Snyder, Colts fan Lexi, Carabites, and Anna Hartman, Mariah Genezuniga, Smiles 420, Beth Bars, Sarah S. Officially, Natty Fusion, John Hare, Hazel Love, Prep Girl, Sandra Briggs, Berlioz, Donna 12661, 12661. Sorry. Words are hard. Numbers are hard. Justina, Kat Heasey, M. Pickerel, Kelly McMillan, Mandy Flores, Coral, Rainfalls, Denise Burkhardt, Elisa Maria C, Sharon Day Newton. You guys are awesome. We unlocked Tony Spark and the fertility story update. Heck yes. Let me get the next goal set up. We'll give feedback on the story we just read, and then we'll get started on that. Heck yes. This one is going to unlock a Best of Redditor update story and Candy Thunder feedback. It's a bop, right? It's a bop. You gotta dance every time. Candy Thunder. Whoop. Okay, we have 25 hundo tiny dinies. We're tiny dining in it. We're tiny dining out. Tiny dining it. Something. Okay, back to our story. So the one reality check that I wanted to give here, or issue a word of caution, is that you don't know for a fact that HW is convincing Dad to make these changes. You know that Dad has checked out, right? So either way, it's on Dad, because if HW is trying to persuade him to be less involved with your life, yes, that's fucked up. But also, he needs to put up the fight to prevent that from happening. Ultimately, the decision to not contact and the decision to bail on you is on him. It is on him to maintain that connection. It is not controlled by her. It could be influenced by her, but it is also a could be. You don't know for a fact that it is. So I would try to, yes, the change that is related to her showing up in his life is what caused, is where this went sideways. You don't know that she intentionally caused that. This could be his choice. This could be him actively just choosing to pour all of his love and attention into her instead of spending time or maintaining a connection with his kids. It could be 100% a brozo move here, and she could be completely unaware. It's possible. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's possible. So either way, it's on Dad, and you asking, are you the asking out for wanting to cut or go low contact with your dad because he's choosing it? No, you're not the asshole for that at all. It's completely understandable. I would just try to reserve any ire you have for the girlfriend until you know for sure that she is an intentional part of that. But by proxy, I understand you're frustrated with him, so you're frustrated with her as well. And the timing of everything makes it very suspect and more likely that she is involved with influencing that, but you just don't know it for sure yet. Don't know it for sure yet. Probably trying to keep her from cheating on him. It's possible. I mean, yeah, that's entirely possible. It could be that they're all into each other to the chagrin of anything else in their lives right now, and that's entirely possible. No matter what, it's on him. It's his choice. Even if she is actively influencing him to stay away from his kids, it's on him to be a dad and be like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry. Has she never told the dad how she feels? You would have cut him out after the missed wedding. That's a good point there. I think this needs to be, communication will solve this, right? If you ever get the chance to have a conversation with your dad, if he doesn't bail on you for a phone call or something, this is a conversation that needs to be had and say, here's what we feel like is happening. We need you to clarify. Tell us what's really going on here so that we know who to be pissed at. It definitely has to be a conversation, though. Communicate this, and it could be that he just has decided he wants to do this instead, and he's doing that in a kind of come what may way. Because obviously, if you do that, you're going to harm your connection with your kids. Obviously, you're going to be damaging the relationship. So he's accepting that risk by doing what he's doing. Any parent that chooses to be absent from a child's life is ASCON 1. Thomas, I would agree. And you just don't know what factors are driving it right now. And I would be curious. I would want to have a conversation. But ultimately, it's his choice. It's his choice to be a part of your life or not. And he's choosing not right now. So, deuces, Dad. Okay, we did hit that goal. So we're going to get into the fertility update story. Oh, my goodness. Are we ready? The originals were posted yesterday, and I think it's too tough to recap. Maybe they'll do it in the beginning of the story here. Sarcastic Cupcake, Darla K, Miranda Amos, San Luis Zapata, Gammer Mama 169, Donna DJ, Anna Hansen, Mama Kitty, Miranda, thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciated. We are at 276 to 25 hundo on the Tiny Diny's goal, which is going to unlock a best of Redditor update and Candy Thunder feedback. And we are at 40% on the likes goal right now. We have a goal of 600,000 likes. We are at 243, 589 and counting. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. Brooke Noe with a share there. Crystal with a share there as well. Thank you guys so much. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. Fertility story update. This is part 3, update number 2. And it is, am I the astronaut for divorcing my wife because she lied about her fertility? And this is update number 2. I'm sorry for the multiple posts, but you guys have been so helpful. Definitely more than my family and friends in real life. I took your advice and met with my sister-in-law over lunch. She was very reluctant to give me any info, but here's what she said. Natalie is in no contact with her parents since before Kaya was born. She didn't lie about that part. I asked if she knew who Kaya's dad was because Natalie got upset every time I asked and refused to talk about him. She was surprised and said, "You're kidding, right? You can't be this naive. It's obviously Ryan, her boss, the guy who owns the yoga place." I asked about their relationship. She kept saying, "Natalie really loves you." I begged her to tell me everything. She said she thinks, not sure, the reason Natalie had an abortion was that she wasn't sure if the baby was mine or Ryan's. Either way, she didn't want another baby. I was floored. She was cheating on me? The same time we were trying for a baby? With the same guy who already abandoned her once? What is going on here? Why? I was stupid enough to start a college fund for her kid. Yet she cheated on me at least once with this guy. I'm going to lose my house and half of everything. She said, "Listen, you are a good guy. Just move on. No need to dig more. You are making yourself crazy." Oh, no need to dig more means there's more to dig and uncover. I asked if Kaya knows who her dad is. She says absolutely not, because Ryan has zero desire to be in her life. I want to tell everything to Kaya before leaving, but my parents think this is crossing the line because I'm not her dad or mom, and it's none of my business. My friends think I want to tell her the whole truth to hurt Natalie, but it's the opposite. I know how awful it is to be lied to, and Kaya deserves the truth. My parents think I act like a crazy person, and I should just meet with the lawyer. Oh, here. Yeah. TikTok wants me to solve a puzzle to keep streaming. That's a fun game. Hey, we won. What the fuck is happening here? What? Okay, so it did get worse. It did get absolutely worse. Okay, so she didn't just lie about her fertility. She was also cheating on him, and with her boss. Is she still working at the yoga place? Like, what the hell's going on here? If she's still working at the yoga place, how does she like see this person every day? And surely her kid has been there at some point. So this Ryan guy who's her boss, but wants absolutely nothing to do with the kid, sees the kid and is just like, yeah, that's my kid. That's yeah. You got nothing here at all. Meanwhile, OP, who has been the functional dad for this girl for, 8 years or so? At least? Wants to tell her the truth because he wants her to know the truth. Sorry, sirens going by. Wants her to know what is actually going on, and everybody's like, no. You have no place because you're not her dad. Well, functionally, he has been her dad for 8 years or more. He has been her father figure for that amount of time. Understandably, has no legal rights here because he never adopted her or anything, but would you want to know? How old was Kaya? Do you remember, Tony Spark? So, I thought it was like 13, something like that. Anybody remember how old Kaya? 12. She's 12. She's 12. If you were in this position, would you want to tell her? He will be the face of the abandonment. I feel like he has some entitlement to tell her something. Oh, that's true. Because her understanding of him right now is that he's bailing on both of them because mommy couldn't give him a baby, which is fucked up in the first place. But yeah, at least have the opportunity to set the record straight and expose mom for how big of a shit person she really is here. Wait until she gets older. 12. I mean, it's 12. She's going to find out eventually here, right? Wouldn't you want it to be someone who she knows and trusts to let her know in the first place? And also in that position, if somebody thinks that I'm abandoning them and am a terrible person, I definitely want to clarify that as well and set the record straight. And if doing that requires that I expose someone else for being an actual terrible human being, so be it. Eating with 128 tiny dinies there. Heck yeah. Steph Lingenfelter, Luz, Nat Plantitas Kane, Lucy 1982, Ms. Morel Vale holds the enemy. Adventures with Pam K sent a gifted sub over to Bree706. Welcome to the Gosh Check It fam. Glad to have you here. Amanda Durham, Amanda Nicole Newman, TLS. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. In Pickerel, why is it that people think so little about the decisions that affect the children so profoundly? Well, mom in this scenario is obviously a very selfish person and doesn't care about the ramifications to her child. That's very, very clear. And unfortunately, it seems like the only person in Kaya's universe that does care for her, she's never going to see again. Elizabeth says he should give wifey an ultimatum. She tells her he will. He hasn't even talked to her, to Natalie, about it yet. So he hasn't talked to her. I would definitely have that conversation first and be like, okay, so let me get this straight. You were cheating on me with your yoga boss. He doesn't want anything. He's Kaya's dad, who abandoned you once, wants nothing to do with her. And if that wasn't any indication that he's a shit human being, you decided to cheat on me with him by being with him again. And now you don't know whose baby it was then. So that's just another lie on top of another lie on top of another lie. For some reason, Natalie's solution to everything is lie. Like if you lie enough, it's going to get so confusing that everything will just go away. Is that the approach? Does that work? Shy says, tell her before the mom tells her a made up story on what happened again. Well, she's already done that. So she's got a very slanted view of what's going on here. I'd go scorched earth. Holy moly, Elizabeth. Yeah. And they aren't officially divorced yet, right? I wonder if OP tried to make contact with Kaya at this point, mom would probably use it in some legal way against him. My goodness. Hey, Mike, good to see you there. Thanks for hanging out. I would want to go scorched earth here as well. I would want to expose the truth. And it's going to come out at some point, but I'm not a patient person. And also, Kaya deserves to know the truth right now. And the sooner that Kaya knows the truth, the sooner Natalie gets exposed for the real shit human being that she really is, the sooner she's actually going to change. Natalie has not hit a point in life where she's had enough pain to create change yet, right? That pain needs to show up sooner or later. And if she's doing this shit to her own kid and lying to her own kid like this, I'll bring that pain. I'll do it. Kaya, send this to every Kaya you know, just in case this is the real name that was used here. Your mom is an entirely selfish, pathological liar person. Talk to the person who has been functionally your dad for the past 8 years and find out the real story. Megan Carroll, Miss Pamela L, Thomas Lovas, Steph Lingenfelter, Curious One, LaDon Riggs. Thanks so much for the love there. Eaton, I see you there as well. I'm not going to fall for it. Adrian, Michelle Girl, Patricia Litzcrew, La Book Dragon, Sanjuiz Zapata, Patricia Litzcrew again there. Ellen, Katie, Patricia, Luna Rose, Alexandra. We are at 676 to 2,500. We got a long way to go on them tiny dinies there. Maria, thanks so much for the shares there. Greatly appreciate it. The Kaya you know is 33 now. Oh yeah, this girl's 12. Maria, thanks for the shares. Greatly appreciate it. Sunstruck, you just saw the other update video and missed this update. Oh dang, it doesn't get better. It did. I make you sad, Ethan.
FYI,
I'm sorry.
The best Redder update story is a pretty big brozo in the story.
It's a pretty big brozo.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to my
he
camera?
says some things and. Yeah, it doesn't go great. It's not good.
His brozo story.
Bad. Things
Well,
that you should not say to your wife.
That we can get down with. hang on a second. I'm going to see if I can get my my behind the scenes camera working here. Oh, we definitely don't want that to be happening here. Hold up. Best Reddit update story is a Brozo story, is that what you said? That's not good. That's never good. Yeah, we will get that update edited and posted as quickly as possible, though. Greatly appreciates it. Candy Thunder, look at her staying on top of that, making sure. Claire, thanks so much for the share there. Greatly appreciate that as well. I'm trying to get that behind the scenes cam up and running. It just won't do it. Okay, we'll go ahead and bounce to the next story here. Fertility story update. Yeah, this person just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Now, luckily, OP, you finally learned who she really is, which sucks, but now you know. Before more pain comes from that, at least you're in a spot now where you know, you're aware, and you're not going to fall for this kind of shit ever again. I think you can rescue Kaya from, let's say you don't tell her, and no one tells her. Her life is going to be so complicated because she's going to be fed more lies and more lies and more lies and more lies, and she's going to have no sense of reality by the time she's a functional or an adult. I'm not going to say functional because this could greatly inhibit her ability to be a functional adult. I think you're the only chance she has. Amanda Steele, Jamie, thanks so much for the shares and the follows there. Greatly appreciate it. Lorinda with a share there as well. Arena Serene, thank you greatly. Moroccan, I say he tells her boss. Huh? Pushed past emotional. She needs to know medically who her father is. Hey, Leah, heck yeah, got your autographed book from the 24-hour live bingo. Heck yes, that's awesome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and bounce to the next story here. 775 at 2500 Tiny Dinies to get the best of Redditor update story and Candy Thunder feedback rocking here. What's up? Nothing? Okay, here we go. This is another follower submission, and this one is... so, OP, if you're in chat... Opie, if you're in chat and want to claim your story, you know what to do. There's some kind of madness going on here in the studio, but they won't tell me what it is. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sure they're not telling me because they don't want me to stress out about it, but everybody just went that direction. We'll see what's going on. Okay. Opie, if you're in chat, you know what to do if you want to claim your story. This story is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Getting Upset About Having Lunch/Dinner with Coworkers? I, 32 female, and my husband, 32 male, work for the same entity. We work on the same campus, but our hours differ a bit, and we work in separate buildings. This being said, we do have the same lunch time, so we try to make lunch a priority for each other, as we have 3 children who are 4, 18 months, and 4 months. What? They have 4 years old, an 18-month-old, and a 4-month-old.
Yikes.
We don't have any family nearby, so lunchtime is the only time we have for just the 2 of us. Recently, a female coworker who works directly under my husband has been inviting herself to lunch with us. She never asks, she just follows us like a lost puppy and gets in our vehicle. I have voiced that I am okay with this every once in a while, but it happens often, so it's taking time away from my husband and me to just be together. He says he understands, but is afraid saying something to her will upset her, as she's a very sensitive type, and he already feels like he's walking on eggshells with her at work. She cries every time he has any sort of constructive criticism, etc. Oh boy. I personally have mentioned to her that lunchtime is my and my husband's time together since we are always working or have the kids, and she just smiles and says, I totally understand, but then still invites her. But I choked on my own words. But then still invites herself. Yesterday, right before time for lunch, my husband came into my office and she was following behind. I kindly conversed with her. I went and clocked out and began to walk out with my husband. She followed. We walked back to the parking lot and she was still behind us a few steps back. We got to my car. I unlocked it. Hubby and I got in as we sat down. She opened the back door and got in the back seat. My husband said, are you coming to lunch with us? She said, well, yeah, I'm not just getting in your car for no reason. It really got under my skin. Am I wrong for this? Lunchtime is my venting time with my husband. It's our time to just talk about whatever and whomever. Don't judge me. I know you and your significant My brain and my mouth are just disagreeing right now to the point where one of them's about to just give up. Don't judge me. I know you and your significant other gossip to each other too. So her tagging along, especially without even saying anything, is rude to me. He's having a dinner with some people this weekend and wanted to invite some people from work. He mentioned a few names, but then said, but if I don't invite female coworker, I know she's going to be upset and feel left out. I told him I really didn't want her to come because I'd been annoyed by her and I didn't really care if she got upset. He hasn't invited her, but now I'm wondering if I was wrong for being annoyed and not wanting her to tag along again. A few things to note. 9 out of 10 times he ends up paying for her lunch. She always says she'll Cash App, but rarely does. She is married and her husband works for my husband's side business. We are more than just coworkers, but not super close. Okay, so the question here is, am I the astronaut for getting upset about having lunch/dinner with coworkers? Okay, that is, am I the astronaut for feeling something, which you cannot be the asshole for feeling a certain way about anything, right? It is what you do with those feelings that can make you an asshole or not make you an asshole. In either case here, your actions or inaction by this, you're not an asshole yet. And I don't think you're going to be an asshole when you finally do create a firm boundary, because that's what needs to happen. All of this beating around the bush is just letting her see that what she is doing is okay. It's enabling this behavior, right? Until you say, hey, today is just us, okay? Until you create that boundary and say, hey, look, on these days of the week, it's fine if you want to tag along. On these days of the week, it is just hubby and I, because those times are sacred to us, okay? You're going to have to nicely create this boundary at some point. If you don't, this is going to fester and it's going to bubble. And then one of these times you are going to be an asshole because you're not going to effectively communicate. You're just going to blow up. And even though it's her actions and she's crossing a boundary and is doing this kind of socially awkward behavior, even though it's her action that's going to drive you to that point, your response, if you let this fester and bubble up and then explode, is not going to be proportionate to the what's happening at that moment. It is going to be an overreaction as perceived by her. And then she's definitely going to cry about that. You've got to communicate in a very simple, kind way right now and add some structure to it and be like, these days of the week, it is just hubby and I. And if she tries to tag along on those days, be like, oh, hey, remember this one is just us. You can do that without being mean. You can definitely do that without being mean. Or you can say, hey, for the next 2 weeks, we've got some really important, heavy family stuff we've got to talk through at lunch. It's going to take all of that time. We need the next 2 weeks just to ourselves. You could do that kindly without making someone feel inferior. I mean, you can do that without being mean. She's a clinger, though. She's a dingleberry. She's just hanging around. You would be, yeah, Candy's letter, you would be pissed. We would have these conversations. So when we got home after the kids got to bed, this would be the first thing we jumped on, a conversation, and be like, okay, what are we going to do about this? At what point are you going to stop letting it just take up mental real estate up here and actually put some kind of solution into place? Right now, it seems like all you've done is mention in passing very, very, very passively and say, hey, every once in a while is fine, but every once in a while is not. There has to be some structure to it, because you're leaving the door open for her to just tag along every single time now. I think start with structure. Either say, hey, for the next week or 2 weeks, just us. We got some stuff we got to work through. Or say, these days of the week, it is just hubby and I. What do you think about that, Candy Thunder? Would that work? She wants the microphone. Swing it over there, Tony. Here she comes.
But why is the husband more worried about how he's going to make this woman feel than how he's making his wife feel? Because the husband has said multiple times that he doesn't want to tell her no because he's afraid it'll hurt her feelings. But his wife, who has a 4-month-old, needs her time with her husband. This is all they get. This is all they get. And he's worried about hurting some other woman's feelings whenever they have their one-on-one time. I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be raging pissed.
Well, look,
I'd be like, you handle that and you do it now.
Because she works directly under him.
I don't care. That's my, they have 3 kids, 3 tiny kids at home waiting for them to suck all their time. And this is 1 hour out of a day. You fix it and you fix it now. That's what I would say.
Okay. So I think the interesting thing here is that, Candy Thunder's feelings are that this needs to be something that hubby takes charge of because she works directly under him. She's following him whenever he goes to connect with his wife to go to this lunchtime thing. I understand that. And yes, prioritizing her feelings. And I know why he's doing it. He's doing it because it will create immediate tears, right? With his wife, it doesn't create an immediate visible effect. It creates frustration, which builds and festers and eventually will explode, but that's not something he can see immediately. If he does something to upset his subordinate that keeps tagging along with him, it'll be immediate tears. So it's an immediate effect. He's thinking, I'm choosing I'm choosing not to have the immediate effect here. Here, Candy Thunder's coming back in.
But she works for him.
Which is why he feels like he has to tread lightly.
Clearly, he's not doing a good enough job as a leader boss to not set a boundary that a coworker can't just climb in their car and go to lunch with them.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is too lax in that case. If they don't want her there and she's climbing in anyways, that's too, like, if we said, no, we're just going to lunch by ourselves today, no one would question that.
Right.
Because we're husband and wife. No one should be questioning them going to lunch by themselves, and no one should definitely be inviting themselves to it.
Agreed.
Like, if that's
it's just been too passive to this point. Now
and
OP.
he does sound passive because he's worried about hurting her feelings.
Right. Well, it sounds like he's done nothing. And OP, you have a we, like, what do we need to do about this? And maybe reframing that as a he needs to do something about this because she is the subordinate. But also, I really like your point that from a leadership perspective, this screams leadership failure, right? Because there's no respect given there. If she feels chummy enough with him to tag along like a lost puppy every time you guys go to lunch, there is a respect boundary that is blurred to the point where, like, it's fine if you guys are friends outside of work, but he's also her boss. And there has to be a respect line and boundaries there. There have to be boundaries. It is on him to communicate this first. I think it's on both of you to communicate it at some point, but it's on him to communicate this first and to add some structure for it. And here comes Tony Spark.
So when you guys start to go pick up Navy and go to get lunch, I'm going to start riding in the car. I'm going to start going with you guys and just climb in and just, Candy's going to keep trying to lock the door. I'm just going to climb in and we're just all going to go. Big family trip.
Big family trip. My thought here is that if you don't get a handle on this thing, next thing you know, she's going to be climbing into your bed with you. Like, she's going to be trying to get in the middle of you two in bed. Like, at what point do you speak up here? When does it stop? I really, really think that you can just communicate and do it. You can do it in a very kind way, but doing nothing and being passive like you have been to this point ain't working. It's on him. I think if he takes the lead on this and adds some structure and creates a firm boundary here, it is going to help their work relationship. It's going to help him as a leader. It's going to help in a number of different ways. And it is going to help show you, OP, that he is prioritizing your feelings over hers, which is a big deal. So, oh man, coworker wants hubby. Would you think, I mean, if that were the case, would she be tagging along with him and his wife? And her husband works for hubby's side business. I don't know if it's that simple. I think it's the closest thing she has a friend there are these two people. So she's tagging along with them at every turn. But eventually she's going to have to be a big girl and, eat lunch by herself or find somebody else to eat lunch with. She can't just be with you guys all the time. She can't sit at your table every day. Or eventually it's like she's getting way too comfortable already. But you have to communicate here. And the first stop on that train is to hubby and be like, this is on you. You need to enforce this boundary. You need to enforce some structure here. And we can take this 90-day plan and be like, okay, the first conversation we're going to have is these days of the week. It is just hubby and I. We need that time to work through some personal things that we don't feel comfortable talking about in other people. OP is in chat. Hell yeah. Where?
Yeah.
Looking for OP.
There she is.
Ah, Selena? Selena. Okay. So the consensus right now is that assign her a different lunch hour, hubby. The consensus right now is that hubby needs to take lead on enforcing some kind of structure here. She's definitely way too comfortable with you guys right now, and I understand you're trying to tiptoe around this, but that has to stop. There's a step past tiptoeing that is not like being blunt or mean, but I really think if you don't head this off and start communicating and adding some structure to this that is easy to understand, you're going to freak out. You're going to freak out eventually. And it's going to just bubble up to the point where you're like, bitch, get out my car. That's what's going to happen if you don't head this off at some point, because your frustration is growing and growing and growing to the point where you wrote this post. What's next? You can communicate some structure and some boundaries without offending someone. You can do that.
She's making threats.
Wait, what? Who's making threats? Wait, what?
Oh my god.
What am I missing here? Candy Thunder's coming over and jumping back in.
No. I'm just getting so you can read it.
Oh, okay.
Here.
She's joked and made comments. She tell his supervisor he's mean to her. Okay. Okay, new strategy. You both need to march your asses to HR right now. Explain everything that's going on. Explain the complications. Explain the boundaries that have been abused, and handle this situation. Also, if her hubby works for your hubby's side business, I think he's got to have a conversation with him as well and say, look, here's what's going on. And here's what we're having to do about it. Because she can't joke around about this kind of shit. She can't risk my livelihood, because when she risks my livelihood for my day gig here, guess what? That affects my side business, which affects your job. So when she jokes around about this kind of shit, she's putting you and your family and her livelihood at risk too. That shit has to stop. So you're already at a point where it's gotten more confusing or more complicated. You've got to go to HR now. Now. You've got to go to HR now. Unfortunately, it's to that point. I think had you spoke up a while back and enforced some structure on this, she would have gotten the hint and probably learned some boundaries and been more respectful. But there's the lines are completely blurred right now, and she has no concept of what is and is not okay. So now you're at risk. Now there is a risk associated with being around her, period, and you have no choice but to go to HR and explain what's going on to them. Number one, to protect yourselves.
Oh, she is the HR department.
Wait, what? Who's HR department? Selena, you are the HR department? Yes, go to your supervisors. Yes. Absolutely, Selena. Go to your supervisors. There has to be somebody that you can report this to. Make an official note of everything that's going on here, and of the additional things that have been said. She joked around to, was it her? She joked around to OP's hubby's supervisor that he had been mean to her or something at work, right? That's what threatened to do that. Yeah. Which is not funny. You don't get to joke around about this kind of shit. It's straight to HR. It's fill them in on everything right now. And I think this you get to pocket as a lesson for later on, because if boundaries are being stomped on by people and you don't enforce those boundaries, this is one of the crazy things that can happen, right? I think had you enforced some boundaries early on with this maybe could have been prevented. That doesn't help you right now, but for future, it helps prevent this kind of thing from happening in the future. Still, Jane, I see you. Elizabeth, yes, keep a record of everything. Even if it's a written record right now, I think you got to keep logs of it. Now you're in defense. Now you're playing defense. Now you're in protection mode. Now you're in potential legal protection mode. Ugh. You Nick Millered me right out of that one. Peter, thank you. Greatly appreciate that. This post is evidence. There you go. The joke, Suzanne, was that she joked around about jokingly threatening to tell supervisors that hubby was mean to her or something. So it doesn't matter. The instant that something is hinted in that direction, it's now defense. Now you're on legal defense. I wouldn't talk to her at all now. go to HR, or you're already in HR, talk to your supervisors, get all this documented. I would get their advice on how to proceed with this, because you need protection. You got to play defense moving forward. Yuck. Yuck. Had it been in the beginning of this or earlier on, I do think that you can politely enforce boundaries with people. Enforcing boundaries, I think people automatically assume that it's like you have to be mean to somebody. It's not like that. I think you can definitely communicate boundaries while still being kind. Hey, Allie, good to see you there. Yuck. All right, we are at 1350 at 2500 on the high bears right now. Susan RS just sent a gifted sub to Sabrina. Welcome to the Gosh Heck It fam, Sabrina. Good to see you there.
I never came up there.
We got to get Tony Spark up here. I'm sorry. Let's do it. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. You love him. Ladies and gentlemen. Tony Spark.
Caden, I don't know if you guys can hear that. What's up, everybody? Hey, there's Josh. What's up, everybody? Was he freaking out that we all left at the same time?
Yeah. What is going on?
Okay, guys, we had an incident. Also, I just went in there and then I couldn't find it. Wasn't in there and it freaked me out. I can't see it. It's gone now. It's out of sight. Well, little situation. We found a slug in the bathroom, and it was, it diverted our attention momentarily, but we're back. Thank you, Mary. Don't forget to follow Tony Spark _ See, she said it first, not me, Candy.
I think I actually coughed that up earlier. It was like a Will from the upside, like a Will Stranger Things upside down.
Okay, well, I don't want to alarm anybody, but when I just went in there, he's no longer visible, so I don't know where it went. Well, it's not visible.
He probably disappeared in your salty presence. Hey.
Wow. Okay. He's funny. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? By the way, we're ranked, number 21 or something in the C2? Yeah, that's solid. Hi, everybody. Hi, how's everybody doing? Good. Everybody good? It's a beautiful day. I hope the weather's beautiful where you're at. It's beautiful here. Hey, Bunny sent a gifted sub. Welcome. What's up? Dusty has my phone, so this is not going to be good. Under the toilet seat, I did the check. Don't worry, I did like the Australia check. Please be a little louder. You want the mic on? Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. What's up, Angelique? Slugger. No, it was a slug. It was a very thank you, Miss Berry. Yeah. You should all follow Miss Berry's lead and follow at Tony Spark _ Candy was rubbing in my face about how many followers she has now. I didn't say anything. She made a comment under her breath. And then I said it. I was like, I heard that.
I wasn't saying a comment to you.
I think she was just talking out loud. And then in my no drama responses that I try to have to things in life,
Sluggy Thunder. Yeah. No, that's me elevated.
She did not. I'm just kidding. I was just giving her a hard time. Because apparently I'm the only one around here who cares about followers. Thanks, Navy. Oh, is everybody?
For shame.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey, thanks, Michelle Heather. Look at that. That's cool. One of the 7. That's right. Shout out Thunder and Spark 7. If you haven't listened to the new podcast, you should go check it out. Not right now, obviously, but in an hour, you should go check it out. It's a nice behind the scenes look. We take a deep dive into the 24-hour live. We've got some important questions to ask you that we need your feedback in the comments. So that's how we'll know. That's how we know. At @TonySpark_. Slugs are not pets. No, I don't know. Did you go look for it, Caden? It's gone. See, it's gone. It's gone. Back to the upside down.
That's the fastest slug ever.
Yeah. Yeah. That is what would happen. And if we created a Sluggy Thunder, Ann says, when does Sluggy Thunder get a TikTok account so the slug can get more followers than Tony? I wouldn't be surprised. That's what would happen. 100%. There, I followed you and Candy. Well, thanks for following me. You didn't need to follow Candy.
Somebody here is going to end up with bum slugs.
Yeah, she's got enough followers. Just kidding. Just kidding. Turbo Thunder. Blackline. Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Maria. All right, guys. We're at 1426 out of 2500. Best Reddit updates. It's pretty big brozo. This guy is. It's not great. Says some things about his wife that you probably shouldn't say. I'll give you a little sneak preview there, but we're about 1,000 tiny dinies away. It's a good story. We don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it. Has Candy seen Sing yet? Have you seen Sing yet? Have you watched? Wasn't it great? I told you it was so good.
I haven't got to watch it like all the way through.
Oh, it's so good. Sing, yes, she has seen it. Carolina, you can send it to dusty-thunder.com or you can post it in the r/DustyThunder subreddit on Reddit. Oh, thanks, Bridget. Sing and Sing too. Yeah, Sing is top notch. Top notch. Whoa.
Hey yo.
Oop. Shoot. Wow, I haven't seen that
Heather
one. Thanks, Heather.
Shoot.
Yeah, look at those tiny dinies coming in. We gotta keep them rolling. We gotta get to the best Reddit update story. It's really good.
Heck yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Do it. Ladies
Have a good day.
Tony Spark. Big round of applause, lightning bolts, etc., for the one and only Tony Spark. Yeah, Carolyn, just to reinforce what Tony said there. I think the Dusty Thunder subreddit is the preferred way to go. There are some parameters or some requirements for us choosing stories that our followers submitted. And so it's not a guarantee that if you send a story in directly to us that it's going to be read and used for a video. If you submit it on the Dusty Thunder subreddit, you're going to get it in front of all the people that are a part of that community, which is several thousand strong. And you're going to get feedback immediately. So if you're in a pickle where you need some kind of timely feedback, I think that's a good way to go to. And it also, as a bonus, gets it on our radar, and we do pull stories from there as well. So I think that's the way to go. In your position, I think that's the way to go. Okay, here we go. So OP on this last story, it's definitely an NTA. You're not an asshole for getting upset about the lunch dinner thing. It is much more serious than we thought it was, though. And at this point, you've got to take some drastic action and create some walls, not just boundaries, but walls at this point now. Chrissy, this is not another 24-hour live. It'll probably be another 4 years before we do that one. It was just a massive undertaking. So, and we may do a longer show at some point, but not a 24-hour, unless it's the next leap day. All right, 1926 to 25 hundo. We're going to get there. We're going to rock and roll it. Until then, let's dive into this story. This is from the AITA subreddit and is titled, "Am I the astronaut for saying I didn't realize being an introvert also made you a rude..." Sorry, had a water burp come up. "Am I the astronaut for saying I didn't realize being an introvert also made you a rude bitch?"
Excuse me?
I wasn't talking to you. That's the name of this. That's the title of the story. Candy Thunder. It's the name of the story. "I may be the asshole even if I feel like this was justified. I, 23 female, will keep it short. My new sister-in-law is extremely rude, 25. She will straight up ignore you if you try to talk to her. She is never engaged with the group and is always on her phone. One-word answers are very common, eye rolls, and so on. This has been brought up multiple times to both of them, and the reason she gives is that she's an introvert. I'm also an introvert, and I know that means I get my battery charged by myself and not in group settings. It doesn't mean introverts don't know how to interact with people or be polite. We had dinner for the youngest 21st birthday. After the food, everyone was mingling. My mom tried to talk to her. What the heck? My mom tried to talk to her and got the cold shoulder. I went up and asked her while she was on her phone if she wanted a take-home box for some cake. I was asking everyone this. She ignored me. I asked again, and she told me she was an introvert. Leave her alone. I snapped and told her I didn't realize being an introvert makes you a rude bitch. She looked shocked, and my brother called me a jerk for this. We got in an argument, and they left. The family agrees that she is rude, but I probably shouldn't have said that. My sister asked why we even invited her to family events because she always acts like that. So outside opinion on this, am I the astronaut? No, you are not. This person is not an introvert. They're just a rude bitch. And also, every introvert out there in the world hearing this story is like, how dare you? How dare you claim to be one of us just so you can be rude to people? Introverts aren't rude to people. That's not how this works. They aren't this kind of rude to people. That's not just an introvert thing. Like it's not actively ignoring people. This is combative, right? This is being passive aggressive combative. That is not being an introvert. For someone to just decide that they're introverted and that means that they don't have to talk to anyone, even when people are trying to directly talk to them, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. I'm an introvert. Leave me alone. Said no introvert ever at a family gathering. Also, if she's an introvert and she doesn't like being at these gatherings, why does she come to the gatherings if she's uncomfortable there? Who is she to them? It is sister-in-law, new sister-in-law. That's just an excuse to be rude, Janine. Sure. Yeah, she's not allowed in the introvert tent. Kelly says, I'm an introvert and I would never say shit like that. You may think it, but you wouldn't say it. But this person doesn't seem. What would you say she is besides a rude bitch? Just that, somebody pretending to be an introvert or using that label as a license to be a bitch, and that's it. Probably has nothing else that she identifies with being an introvert in. Is just shitty to people.
Just pick it up and just like, yeah, this is a crutch. I'll use that.
Yeah. Not, thinking everyone is beneath you and that you shouldn't like their presence doesn't warrant a greeting or response, or this is a hierarchical kind of thing. This is not an introvert kind of thing. She thinks anybody that tries to converse with her is beneath her and they don't deserve her attention. That is not being an introvert. Nicole, yeah, that's a good point there. So an introvert is probably also more conflict averse, but she's definitely not. That's why I think she's like passive aggressive combative is probably the most accurate thing I can put on it here. An introvert wouldn't do anything to bring attention to themselves, yet here she is intentionally ignoring people like that's gonna not cause a scene. Privileged. She just didn't appreciate being interrupted on her phone. But that's her go-to. Like, she uses the phone as a shield. And to a certain degree, I get that, because if we're at some kind of event where there's a lot of people, I much prefer being the photographer, because the camera is a shield for me. Right. It is a barrier between me and the crowd. I can use that. And also people are less likely to stop and chat up the photographer. I can exist kind of as a ghost in that space. But if somebody does stop and talk to an introvert, they're at least going to say like, hi. They may not be super outgoing about it, but I'm still going to be friendly. But this gal actively plants herself in the middle of the crowd and then will just actively ignore people just to prove that she's better than them. That's what it feels like. Tony Spark, do you have a thought on this?
No, I was going to chime in. That's exactly how I feel.
You're a social freaking butterfly. Who is the I can't think of the character's name. You'd be too afraid to roll your eyes. Yeah. The introverts of the world do not claim her. They've kicked her out. She's just in her own little independent, selfish, rude biznatch club. That's it. Hey, Emmy Lou, Krista Museum Girl, Nope, Try Harder with the Tiny Dinies there. Kelly McMillan, H. Bryn, Ms. Helene, Tony Spark, Dark Angel, Cristalita, KYA, Mary, SPG 11 Mama, Christopher Moore, TLS, Carol Thornhill. We are at 2,300 to 2,500. We're gonna get there. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do some music here so we can hit that last 200, and I'll just be thanking people, rocking and rolling. And also, we're at 77% on the likes goal right now to 465,400 out of 600. What are we at ranked right now? 21 still? Not sure, but we are ranked. And my name is Indigo Montoya. I'll have to figure out the rest of it and make that work for an introvert. We'll figure out a way to do it. Mary Aunt Sue, Min V, Zuli, Cat J, Emmy Lou, Kelsa KYA, Nope, Try Harder, Candy Thunder, Emmy Lou, Krista Museum Girl. There it is. It's achieved. We'll rock it out now. Heck yeah. All right, in the very first position here, winning this round is Nope, Try Harder. And then AK Mary, TLS Journey, Ethan, Fluffy Buddy, Kelly McMillan, Candy Thunder, The Giant Cat Lady, Tony Spark, Hooten, Adventures with Pam, Susan R. Smart, E. Tate Johnson, Elise Newman, Lady Bile. We have Anise Moon, Emma Vassallo, Sue Ann, KYA3, Just Heather. We've got Sky Lingenfelter, Miranda, 1984, Natty Fusion, Amber L. Hickey, Patricia Litzcrew. We've got Morel Vale Holds. It won't show me the rest of that. Oh, Morel Vale Holds the Enemy. I could click on it and see the rest of the name there. Look at that. Ms. Pamela L, Tanya D, aka T. Tanya D, Mandy Flores, Miss Helene, Not That Ellen, there you go, Mama Silver, Jenny DeBlock, Luna Lifts, Erica Eternal, Alicia Suver, Shannon Aaron, Thomas Lovas, Big TKB, Nat Plantitas Kane, Pamunky, Music Freak, Leo Named Water, Elise Maria C, and Mariah Janae Zuniga. Thanks so much, guys. We've unlocked that Best Redder update story. Heck yes. And I'll get the next one set up here. That was also for Candy Thunder feedback, so that's going to be fun. Next one is going to unlock a cake story and a Caden Thunder appearance. Cake. Maybe rolling this one over into the VIP. Tell me they didn't get rid of this one. Nope, okay. We have a goal of 700 donuts to make that happen. Hey, Pamunky's back in time. Heck yes. Nikki, thanks for the share. Grustan, thank you for the follow there. Greatly appreciate that. Okay, we're going to dive into the Best of Redditor update story. Candy Thunder, you're up for feedback on this. I don't know where she went. She disappeared. Christopher Moore, Thomas Lovas, Jacob Earl, Janine, Erica, Julia, Prep Girl, already sending the donuts through there. Here we go. Best of Redditor update story titled, I Broke My Wife and I Don't Think It Is Fixable. There are many, many ways to take that. Written by Candy Thunder? This happened 6 months ago, and I only chose to talk now because I don't see an improvement in sight, and I am hopeless. We were at a party, my friend is single, and we started talking about love and relationships. My wife and I have been happily married for 7 years. We have 3 beautiful children. She is the love of my life. When I was talking to my friend, I felt like we were on different levels of thinking. His complaints are mostly superficial about how the people he dated looked. I was a bit drunk at that point and said something like, y'all fall in love with looks. Look at me and my wife, and I love her more than anything compared to my ex, who was just looks. Everyone went silent, and my damage control was worse, so I ended up shutting the hell up. I couldn't get my point across, but even I couldn't get my point across, but even I thought that maybe these thoughts have been in my head, but only came out when I was drunk. My wife was shocked. First week, she was so angry and wanted to understand what I meant, and nothing I said was good enough. I was drunk. I love her. I think she's the most beautiful woman. She thought being drunk made me say true feelings. Then one morning she just said, I have never felt as ugly as I have felt this past week. I have always thought I was beautiful. She didn't cry this time, but she hasn't been happy since. I started crying and apologizing, but she was like emotionless. It was the last time she looked at me too. She is, I don't know this word. Taciturn? Is that a word? Taciturn? Taciturn? Googling.
A person reserved or uncommunicative in speech, saying little. So she's not talking much to him.
Gotcha.
Taciturn.
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 Taciturn. Okay. We learned something new today, folks. Taciturn. Okay. She is taciturn and distant, but only with me. She has lost 20 pounds and she works out 6 to 7 days a week. She never has free time with me. If she's not with the children or her family or friends, she's immersed in some book or has her headphones on. She's always fully clothed, now even in bed. She locks the bathroom door when she takes a shower. She's more active on social media too. She shares many pictures of her, and she thanks everyone who gives her a compliment. Before, it was just pictures with our children and pets, but now it's her, working out in sports bras and tights. I broke her, and I don't know how to fix it. Top comments here. You say your damage control was worse. What else did you say that night, and how long did you do it for? OP's response, my friend and wife and my wife's friend and husband were very silent, and I started saying that I didn't mean that my wife wasn't good looking. I just meant that I loved her for other things. I'm doing my best like drunk talk version of him I can. Then even worse, I said that sometimes you are very attracted to someone and everything is a whirlwind with them, but you have nothing in common and see no future. And I probably alluded that I used my brain and not my dick when looking for a relationship. I thought it was the logical way of thinking, but for her, I think she would have preferred that whirlwind and passion. I haven't read all the comments. This is the first one I read that asked to explain the damage control. More top comments here. 1, yeah, knowing what he said for damage control is necessary because that error would have been so easy to fix. Oh God, no. What I meant was my wife has more than good looks, which is why our marriage works. She's more than just a pretty face. So I can only imagine what he spewed to make it this bad. 2, the fact that everybody has asked him and he hasn't said, I'm going to guess it was bad, even too bad for the batshit insanity of Reddit. Oh, well, we know what he said now. She didn't cry this time. That says a lot. Indifference is worse than being emotional. She's done with him. I was thinking the same thing. She's not just indifferent at this point. She's preparing her launch back out into the world. She's doing all this stuff for her. She's working on self-improvement. She's posting a lot of individual social posts. She's past indifference now. She's already begun her launch back into the world, bro. Like you're way too late in this process here. All right. We got an update that's 26 days later. She is checked and prepping. Checked out and prepping. Yeah. She done. I would be shocked if this update is like, oh, everything's fine now. There's no way. There's no way. All right. Update 26 days later. We have been going to counseling, and my wife at first has been very reluctant to open up and wanted to pretend that everything was fine. One session, she just asked me, I want the truth, here and now. No sugarcoating, and do not try to spare my feelings. Did you find me attractive when we met? I really didn't know what to say to this.
Oh my God. It's a train wreck.
What do you mean you didn't know what to say to this, bro? There's only one thing to say to this. There is only one answer. The fact that you didn't know what to say to it is an immediate meltdown failure. Like, why did you even go to counseling if you couldn't find an answer to this question? Why did you even go? Well, just throw the towel. Somebody in this boy's corner, just throw the towel, man. He needs to stop fighting. He's only digging this hole deeper and deeper and deeper. I love her more than anything, even more than my children and myself. I think that she's the most beautiful woman I know, but did I immediately think that when I met her? No, I didn't really find her attractive.
Oh, God. God.
We all grow up having a type. I remember thinking that she wasn't exactly my type, but she was so lovable and sweet. It didn't take me long to fall for her, and now I find women who look like her attractive, so I guess type is something very superficial and fleeting. I told her the truth. She cried and said that she herself didn't know why she was so hurt and crying. She knew that there were more beautiful women. She never wanted to be the most beautiful woman either, but that she had always been considered beautiful by other people, which is true, and always gotten attention. But the fact that the one person she wanted to be found the most beautiful girl in the world by didn't think that, and that's what made her sad. The man she loved way before we even started dating. This was on our latest session, and it was the most draining experience. Later, when we got home, she apologized for making a big deal out of something this trivial, but that she just couldn't help it, and she was confused to why it affected her so badly. She apologized. She apologized for making this a big deal. Like, wow. On Saturday, she told me that she didn't want to stay in our marriage, that something broke inside of her. She asked me if I would try to hurt her and the children if we did separate, if I would use them to get back at her, alienate her because she chose to leave. I promised her that none of this would happen, that I loved her and wanted her to be happy even if it wasn't with me. Our families are in an uproar over this. Mostly they're angry with her. What? That she let her insecurities get the best and worst of her. What? But I don't think it is insecurity, to be honest. She has never cared about people's attention. She just realized that the only person whose approval she cared about didn't give her. At least that he had to learn it, and that wasn't enough. I'm going to go ahead and do this before we read the comments on the update. Brozo. Brozo. What? You know, most people, whenever they have a thought, it runs through at least one filter. And you think, how is this going to be received by the person I'm about to spew this nonsense onto? And then it goes through a couple of revisions in your head before making it to your mouth. This guy is like a lucky strike. He's just completely filterless. He is just full bore, straight pipes, just no filter whatsoever, just digging himself a grave that is deeper and deeper every time he opens his damn mouth. I do not understand why he went to counseling if he was going to say the shit that he said. And it doesn't sound like he's trying to be hurtful. He's trying to be 100% honest, but you have to I don't know. I don't get it. Comments on the update. 1, dude, your pencil is not sharp at all. You really could have changed the way you said that to her. I had a type back then, but one look at you and that type was broken because you were the most amazing woman I had ever met. You were different than any other woman in the best ways possible. You also could have said, you fall in like with looks, you fall in love with the person they are. Your wife is struggling and you keep putting your foot in your mouth. 2, he is so painfully honest in the worst and most stupid way ever. 3, honey, your ugliness isn't that bad. Look on the bright side, your immense obesity detracts from your face. Jesus. After a while, you forget it's there and you just focus on the obvious stretch marks. That's good. That's a good thing. 4, your families are angrier with her. 5, probably not. The dude just doesn't know how to read social cues, so when they listen to him or talk sympathetically, he interprets it all wrong. This guy chose poorly at every turn. I mean, it was a very simple choice of like, here, buddy, here is a box of nails and a piece of bread. Which one would you like to eat? He's like, nails every time. Why, I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm really attracted to those nails. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? And of course, we've got to get Candy Thunder's feedback on this too. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring her back in. The one and only Candy Thunder.
You're so sweet to me. You are not this guy.
Get your butt on that mat.
So
you're so sweet to me. Stand here.
I think the part that got me the most out of this story was when he said that both of their families were upset with her.
Yeah.
because she let her insecurities get the worst of her, which means that there's a reason that she's insecure, and I guarantee you it comes from her family. Like she doesn't see herself as that, and whenever it's brought up again because of something that she never healed from, and then to find out that the person that's in your corner that loves you the most doesn't think that you're attractive to them, and then so all of those insecurities that she's probably had her whole life, and I bet she's beautiful. Like beautiful women can have insecurities, beautiful people can have insecurities. Like it doesn't matter what you look like. Everybody has their own set of things that hurt them. And this was one for her. And I feel like that's why she couldn't come back from it. But my God, dude, it was just like cringe after cringe. And I feel like he needs to be tested for something neurodivergent, because I feel like you do not understand social cues in any way, shape, or form. Like you don't understand what not to say in a situation. Even in counseling, you're like, look, did I think you were pretty? No. And I'm like, you said the one thing that you shouldn't have said, and you said it multiple times over and over and over again, and your wife was just waiting for you to fix it, and you just kept fucking up harder. I really feel bad for her, and then for her to be the one that everyone blames, like she did something wrong. But I'm like, you broke
she
her.
Apologized.
I know.
They got back from that counseling session, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I let this become a big deal." What do you do? What? But
I think there's we all have those flaws, those things that we see within ourselves, and it's like when somebody points that out, and somebody if you were to point something out in me that hurt me so bad, how do you look at that person and not see that flaw every time? And so she looks at her husband every time, and she feels like she's not good enough. So you can't stay in a relationship like that. Because at that point, it's destined to fail. She can't look at him and be like, oh, this man loves me for me. She looks at him and says, this man
judges me for XYZ.
Yeah, doesn't think that I'm beautiful enough for him. I didn't fit what he thinks a woman should look like, or his type should look like. And I feel bad for her.
Sergeant Mac commenting here that Ellen saying that this can't be the first time this subject has caused issues in the relationship.
Right. I think this insecurity, the fact that her family was like, just get over it. Don't screw up your marriage over this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's not something that she did. It's something that he opened. He opened the can of worms, and he can't get it back in there. I don't know. That's not a saying, but
he's pushing a rope.
Yeah.
What?
What is that?
Pushing a rope. You can't push a rope. It just bunches up.
Okay, I just saw a video that.
What video were you watching that made pushing a rope think of it?
It was. I don't want to talk about it. It was not like that. It was something else about poop. I don't want to talk about it.
Is your FYP just full of poop feed now?
Oh no! This is what happens when an introvert gets put in uncomfortable situations. Right here. I don't turn into a crazy bitch person. Roll my eyes.
Don't talk to me. I'm an introvert. I'm gonna do that at a restaurant sometime. When they come up to take your order, I'll be like, "Don't talk to me. I'm an introvert."
It was the pulling the plant out of the pipe.
Yeah,
that was the video that I saw. Okay. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen that video at this point.
Yes, for sure. Hey, we hit the likes goal. Look at that, 600K. Look at you guys go. Look at you go.
No, I feel bad for this woman. And it's not about the fact that not everybody's going to look at somebody and be like, I could look at somebody and be like, that's an attractive person. And you could look at that same person and be like, I don't find them attractive.
Yeah.
So I think I understand what he was trying to say. He just said it in the worst way possible. He said it in a way that broke his wife. Literally broke her.
So part of me thinks that the whole working out and social journey, posting pictures of herself, might not have been what?
Ashley, don't talk. I need that on a shirt. Don't talk to me. I'm an introvert.
Part of me thinks that could have might maybe not have been her reentry into the world as an independent individual, single individual, but also could have been her recharging her battery. Trying to make herself feel pretty. And getting compliments from people on social because she knew she could do that, and that was recharging her battery, or it was validation. But it could have also been a step toward divorce, a step toward independence, because that's where it's ending up here. So
yes, I think that she has some work to do on herself so that this can't be used as a weapon against her. if you see yourself as beautiful, nobody else can question that you're beautiful because it only matters what you believe. And if she sees herself as beautiful, this wouldn't have affected her so deeply. And I think that's maybe why she apologized. Not the fact that it's going to end their marriage, but the fact that she allowed it to hurt her so much. And so I think if she were to work on that and like find herself beautiful, then maybe she can heal from this and be in a healthy relationship next time. Because maybe what he did was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But
I'm super surprised that you nailed that saying.
I
Because normally you would have mixed that
the
with
whole
something
time
else.
I was saying it, I was like, is that the right saying? Is it a straw?
The straw that broke the camel's hump
Is it
day.
yeah, I was like,
Something
is it,
like that.
is it the straw? Yeah. Don't bite the horse that feeds you.
It's the bendy straw that
Yeah.
sat on the camel's back. I think that if she were in a position where she were happier with herself when this happened and his drunk filterless ass said what he said, which obviously isn't an alcohol induced thing because he did something
just
equally as
doubled
stupid
down
in
yeah,
counseling.
yeah.
It's clearly not an alcohol thing, but if she were happier and more at peace and confident within herself, she probably would have just given him shit for putting his foot in his mouth, and that would have been the end of it. If I said
Right.
something stupid, you would have given
do.
me shit right then, and I still do it. Yeah, I do it. I do it all the time. But you would give me shit right then, and 2 minutes later it's over. It wouldn't have been haunting you, I don't think.
No, and I put myself in this position of OP and his wife, and I feel like dude.
You're drifting off. I'm trying to make sure we're keeping
that's not what was going on. I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
He's being inappropriate.
No such thing.
I don't even know what I was trying to say. You done messed me up.
I was trying to keep her in frame, but I was just choosing a very efficient way of doing it.
I was holding on to my butt. Would you just stop? Okay, what I was trying to say, if I put myself in this position and this was you and you said this, and I know that you never would, but if you had said this to me, I don't think I would leave you over that because I know how much you love me. And I know that whatever you had said, you didn't mean it the way that it came out. But I feel like maybe she's always doubted that because of her insecurities.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't feel actually like surrounded in love. And so I think to me, it's like, I don't question whether or not that you love me. And so I know if you were to say something like this, I would probably be pissed, but I wouldn't let it affect me this deeply. But if me 10 years ago would have ended a relationship over this.
I hear you.
So, but me now, like being loved by someone completely and unconditionally, like changes who you are as a human being. So he can say that he loves her all day, but if he didn't make her feel loved, then there's a reason they ended up here. And it wasn't just this one thing.
Right.
Like it had to have happened multiple times. This same kind of scenario where he stuck his foot in his mouth. Is that the right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at me. I'm nailing 2 in a row.
Hey, look at that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely I think this is one of those things that like slow cracks, like something, a first ding creates that crack, and then
Right.
there's more cracks build over time before that eventually breaks, that window
Right.
breaks. Like, so it happened slowly over time. This definitely wasn't the first time this has been an issue for them. It's definitely not the thousandth time. That's a hard word to say. The 1,000th time.
I'm not even going to attempt.
This has been an issue for her, right? Even before him. So this has been something that built for a long time, but this was a brutal enough ding to where it just sent the whole thing flooding down. And yeah, she's got to get back to a spot where she's 100% confident and happy with herself.
Agreed.
And we talk about that a lot, getting to that point before. Otherwise, there's a lot of pressure involved for the person that you're with. And in this case, there was a lot of pressure on him and his opinion on that kind of thing because it broke her whenever he voiced it.
Right.
If she can get strong enough to where somebody saying that doesn't hurt you, I think that's where you got to be.
Someone said I must have had an excellent freezer Diet Coke today. I think it's just my head separation. I took cold medicine. So I think there's like a degree of separation happening
You got balloon head
within my, yeah. But I have had some Diet Cokes.
So the part of your brain that like mixes up the sayings and stuff is in the balloon like 3 feet above,
Yeah,
just looking down, being like, "Hey, look at her. She
It's
did good.
fixed. It's fixed by Sudafed,
Yeah,
apparently.
good job. Good job."
All right.
Introvert
out.
Stanan, yeah, that's a good point there. Also, what happened to make her wonder if he would hurt her or the kids, like using the kids against her to alienate her? I don't know. That's an interesting question. There's got to be some past trauma rearing its head there too. Do what?
I just panic moonwalk.
You panic moonwalked out?
Like a long pause. So
Long pause. No. It just says that that's a cue in the script, Joey. You don't actually say long pause. Long pause. Introvert out. Yeah, there you go. Panic moonwalk is like the best kind of introvert exit of a room. We should do that. Okay, this was a rough story, and short of there being some kind of spectrum reasoning for not being able to filter that out or think about how it's going to be received, I think bro just ate sock over and over and over again. Must really like the taste of sock. It just screwed it up bad. Did it real bad. Real bad. Also, I've seen his name a couple of times on here. The timing has always been bad where I couldn't just jump out and say something, but Smoots, my good buddy, had a B-day last week, so happy freaking birthday to you, Smoots. I think we're going to do lunch this Friday. We better be doing lunch this Friday, man. Thank you for being here. Also, everybody else, thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate it. We're at 392 at 700, but it is time for us to wrap up so we can get to the VIP part of this live. If you are part of the fam, part of the storm here, our VIP group, you will hopefully receive a notification here in about 10 minutes when we start the VIP live. If you don't see it, come back to the profile and see if I'm live. That should be the VIP live for you. So we're going to jump over and do that. Give us about 10 minutes to reset for everything there. We'll be chatting through a few things on there as well. And I hope you guys had a great time today. It's always fun with you. Thank you so much for helping us knock out these goals. We are going to carry over the donut goal that will unlock the cake story and the Caden appearance to the VIP, and if we hit it there, we'll start the show with it next time. So we'll keep it going again. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Pamunky, member of the Gosh Heckin' Fam now. Glad to have you here. Crazy Canadian with the donut. I've had random water burps today. I'm sorry. Seti, Nina Teresa, Sandy, Pirate Pups, Mungao, L, Annie Bracker, Erica Eternal, Elizabeth Tate, Emilu, TLS, Alexandra Aruda, Jay, Stephanie Vandermillen, Heathbar, Thomas Loves, Gumi Hosan. I probably didn't say that right. Sharon S., Emma and Callie, Heathbar again there, Jade Overkill Mill, Sherry Medic, KTH 93, Donna DJ, Jacob Earl, TLS, Adrian Emily Smith, Kitty Cat, Bree Hart, Sherry Medic, Christopher Moore, Kitty Cat, Sarah Ann, Thomas Lovis. Welcome to the Gosh Heckin' Fam. Glad to have you guys here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It's been a blast. We'll see you next time or see you on VIP here shortly.